Complexity have been on the grind, going from North America, now back here in Europe, and they successfully qualified for Bucharest. I got Grim with me. I want to look at what's going on with you as a player and the journey you've been on, because obviously 2020, you joined Liquid, you've been grinding at the very top of Counter-Strike for a long time, but now you've kind of gone back. Yeah. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, but it's like you're back to not always being at the very best events. You're fighting through qualifiers and stuff like that. How is that to go through, to kind of go from being on the very top, especially at the beginning of CS2, and now you're in this like middle ground area where you're trying to fight your way back in?
Yeah, so I'd say it's definitely been a journey, like you said. It's definitely interesting not being like at the full top anymore, because you know, you gotta fight hard in these qualifiers and stuff. But that honestly is like, I kind of like doing that, because you know, when I was coming up, I always used to like try to like dial in for the qualifiers, you know, do my best and qualify. And I really like playing the qualifiers, and but you know, like I said, it definitely does suck not being, you know, in tier 1 events all the time anymore. But you know, that's just something we got to build upon now with you know, Danny and Nick, and even me. I need to be stepping up. I think everyone's been doing a pretty good job recently, actually, and we just got to keep working on that. At first, it was a struggle because it just like a lot of stuff wasn't working. Like when we were here at PGL last time, we went out to Saul, and that was very disappointing for us, especially since they were a dead team at the time. But then they went to playoffs, so I don't know.
Yeah, they did go to playoffs though, so that was a wild one. Is it like a difficult, maybe like for your ego, or like a bit of a humbling experience to go through as well? How would you describe it for you personally?
I would say it's not really too much of a humbling thing. Like honestly, you know, obviously those teams are all really, really good, and I have to be competing against them as well. Like I've had to be doing for the past 4 or 5 years. So it's honestly, it's just like a change for me. Like I'm not really thinking of it as like my ego shot or anything like that. I'm just trying to grind my way back up and show that I still can do it, and help the new guys out. And they've been doing pretty good. They've been getting better. So yeah, I want to see what happens this event.
When you're talking about the new guys, it's obviously Nick and Sixty coming in, right? And they're trying to find their form. It was very difficult at the beginning. Now you've said you've changed some positions, you've changed some roles around to try and make this work. Was it just like a learning process you guys had to go through? Was it like that big of a difference? Because we know losing EliGE is one thing, but then when you have to change 2 other players, that's a big difference overall. Would you say it's a completely different complexity?
I'd say it's pretty different because you know, some of the role problems we had with John leaving is Johnny would try to sacrifice some of his spots to help the new guys a bit, but when that wasn't working out, we kind of just moved Johnny back into his old roles, because what was going on was he wasn't, as IGL, you know, he wasn't getting like a clear view of what was going on the map. So we tried to move him into those more active roles so he can like come up with a plan. Yeah. Because we were struggling with that on our T sides. But now I think our T sides are really good, honestly. I think in the qualifier we just played, it was like 80-90% round win rate or something on T side. Like
solid.
So the improvements are definitely there. I'd say definitely losing John obviously sucked, because he was a very vocal mid-round player, and that's something we were lacking, and that's why we were struggling so bad when the team first joined. And I think that's fixed a lot, moving Johnny in the more active roles, because he's able to call a lot more and see the map and know what's going on.
Lastly, for this event, obviously you spoke about the win streak you have. You're certainly on an upward trajectory compared to where you were at the start of the year. Have you set any goals for this event?
I mean, I don't think we really talked about any specific goals, but for me, I'd like to at least make the quarterfinals, like top 8. I think that'd be pretty good for us. But honestly, I think this event's more for just this, like, seeing where we're at again against the tier 1 teams, because, you know, last time we were here, we got kind of blown out the water. So this time we'd obviously like to change that and see, like, how much have we improved since a month ago. So, I mean, for me, I would take it game by game, and I'd say not an expectation, but a goal for me would be the quarterfinals for sure, and hopefully we do good. And like I said, just take it game by game.
I like it, man. Good mentality. A lot of change coming in for you guys. So best of luck. Hopefully it all works out for you.
Thank you.